We're the people of the forest, people of the sea. When our people pass, when they die, it is said that they walked into the forest. So the forest is filled with the spirits of our ancestors. The trees are alive. The salmon are alive. The rivers are alive. The glaciers are alive. Everything has a story and a history. We're arrogant if we think we're the only ones.
The Tongass National Forest is at the northern extent of what scientists are beginning to call the North Pacific temperate rainforest. It is home to some of the vastest expanses of temperate rainforest left on Earth. And in old-growth forests and in natural forests, you can see that we are just one of many creatures. I've been working to protect the northern Pacific temperate rainforest that stretches from California up to Haines, Alaska, since I was 13 years old. I wanted to come on this trip because, by and large, I didn't see anybody talking about the landless legislation. Thousands and thousands of acres of ancient forest are at risk of being destroyed if this bill passes. I wanted to go up and see what these areas were actually like and see what we could lose and show the world what we could lose.
And I have a ceremonial blanket and a show-off blanket. I made this one, and my daughters each have one. In the back, there's history of each. So we were the first people of Huna. Excursion Inlet, Icy Strait, Kagwantan went there. We settled this country. No one else has that history but us. It's our home.
Hey.
How do you see the forest?
Our forest is our culture. You know, it's our medicine, it's our housing, it's our sustenance. Everything is wrapped up into the forest, and we can't be separated from that.
It's the breath of our ancestors and the future of our children.
Landless is a mechanism under the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act where it was supposed to be for 5 left-out communities to be included in the land claims. To put the word native in Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act is a fallacy because it's not for natives. It was always for industry. The Tlingit and Haida people will never benefit from the land claims. Where's the 5 communities in that law? Look at the map and see the landless claims strategically spread out. Has nothing to do with those 5 communities. It's another way to exploit the resources in Southeast Alaska in the name of native.
These land selections are in areas with really high timber volumes. If these lands are privatized, they're going to log them, they're going to try to mine them if they can. That would be devastating. In 2001, the Clinton administration created the roadless rule that protects wilderness areas throughout U.S. national forests. In Southeast Alaska, it protects over 9 million acres of roadless forests, of old-growth forests, of glaciers. Alaska's congressional delegation has been pushing to open the Tongass National Forest up for logging for literally decades. We're in a situation where Alaska's representatives in Congress have found workarounds where they've been doing land swaps with corporations and with the state of Alaska that gives roadless areas to privatized entities. Those areas get logged without environmental review because they're no longer part of the national forest system. This has resulted in a dramatic loss of roadless old-growth forests on the Tongass. So we were driving down the road and noticed this land survey, which is from the Forest Service, and this used to be a survey to document the edge of the national forest. And since the sign was put here, this whole area above us, which is this clear cut, was privatized, and this is the result. So in case you need proof that land privatization is happening out here, you have the national forest boundary and the no longer national forest. So that area up above us is all part of the North Lease land selection, which would be privatized under the landless legislation, and it would be given to a new tribal corporation from Ketchikan. This specific land selection is about 4,700 acres, a little bit more. And it includes both mountains up above us and pretty much the whole valley up to the headwaters behind us. And it's currently part of a 200,000 acre roadless area that is completely pristine. The advocates of this legislation say that this isn't about logging, and that we environmentalists are wrong to focus on the fact that these areas might be logged, except that it is about logging without any public input. It doesn't matter what they want to do back here. This area we're standing in could and likely will become a 4,700 acre clear cut. The landless legislation would almost be a multiplier. Instead of privatizing 10,000 acres here or 20,000 acres there like they have for the past several decades, this legislation in one swoop would privatize 115,000 acres of the Tongass National Forest, including 60,000 acres just like this that are currently protected by the roadless rule. The plan, we're hoping to get to Juneau, basically, try to get to some of the land selections on the way up, and then meet up with Wanda. So we've seen a lot of really brutal logging and a lot of really intact places, and our goal on this trip is essentially to document those areas and bring awareness around those threats to this ecosystem.
As part of that North Pacific coastal temperate rainforest, there are an endless web of interconnections between land and sea. That is fish coming upriver, it's water and carbon and nutrients going downriver to feed nearshore ecosystems. The Tongass holds about 20% of the total carbon stocks in the entire national forest system.
right up in here. That should work out really well. And here's your land selection. And then we'll go this way.
What tends to happen over and over out here is just cut and run, where you'll privatize an area, cut it, and as soon as you take that land out of the National Forest system, it is bottom of the barrel logging practices. And this is what lies in store for the 115,000 acres that could be privatized under the landless legislation.
The industry is changing our legal existence to our land. Just by a word, you can change the status of a whole community.
That's the museum, right?
Now, I'm a Sea Alaska shareholder. All the rest is wiped off the table. We're corporate shareholders that will never get to Wall Street. This is a Sea Alaska corporation. It's an Alaska Native corporation from our land claim settlement. The whole land claim settlement was about relinquishing who we are as Aboriginal people. What a beautiful piece of wood, huh? You can count the years. The Alaska Native Claim Settlement Act has exterminated our right to claim indigenous lands. We can make no more claims into the future.
So basically all you get is these corporations.
Here it is. The tribe and the corporations are separate, but the tribe should have the voice. I don't know what else to say about it. There's no place for us, but we're absorbed into it.
In the past 15 years, we've seen almost 100,000 acres of the National Forest in Southeast Alaska privatized, specifically to have not tribes own this land, but corporations own this land, corporations that have an obligation to maximize profit for shareholders. It's not about a historical injustice. It's about giving land to corporations to log. That's why the Alaska Congressional Delegation supports this legislation.
Ruined us. Ruined us. I live in poverty. How many people on the street are natives that have no home? Landless, homeless, that tells a story now. Taking the trees down is no different than slicing up our culture. We battle to protect our culture, the trees, the forest, and our environment.
I think the thing that's really crazy is Western culture that has annihilated ecosystems that took thousands of years to develop. If we want to live sustainably on the earth, we need to develop a relationship with the land, a relationship that I think we lost a long time ago.
As Tlingit people, we see the world as a whole, not as pieces.
The light of the nail on the back, they're changing color.
The trees are our roots. The roots are deep in the ground and they're intertwined. That's how we are. We can't break that connection to nature. Every one of us have to look around us and say, how do I want this to be for my children and grandchildren? If we cannot remember that, we're determined to be gone.
My biggest realization from being here and seeing these places is that we still have the world to lose. Alaska's representatives in Congress have been attempting to pass this legislation for years. It might be gaining traction, but it's not too late. We can save these areas, but we have to get organized and we have to fight.
They're counting on the people not paying attention. Wake up, take a deep breath, you get fresh air. Look around at your rivers, are they clean and cleared? Look around at your habitat, is it naturally green? We have a part in what is going on. We're in trouble. Time to speak, time to fight for our land.